welcome indeed to this round 3 of the debate series, which is a way for the students of this campus to celebrate the 50th Golden Jubilee of its University of the South Pacific. Debate number 3 will be on the topic, the University of the South Pacific can be more successful as a paperless university. The University of the South Pacific can be more successful as a paperless university. I have the honor of welcoming indeed Mr. Winston Thompson, who is the Pro-Chancellor of our university, and some of our senior lecturers, and of course the prestigious panel of judges. We have Mr. Ioane Malaki, who is a senior lecturer in agriculture on campus, and next to him is the alumni representative, who also happens to be a UNDP program associate, Alafua Lisa, Frank Lisa. And then we have next to Alafua Lisa, Mr. Nuayufi Ayono, the current USP SA president and MA students in agriculture on this campus. We welcome indeed the head of School of Agriculture and Food Technology and the acting campus director, Professor Mohammed Umar. The motion once again is the University of the South Pacific can be more successful as a paperless university. The affirmative team is Team Bactave, and they're speaking for the motion, whereas the negative team, who'll be speaking against the motion, will be Team FBE. Each team has 3 debaters, and each debater will be speaking for a maximum time of 5 minutes. From Team Bactave, speaking for the motion, and I would like you to please stand up as I mention your name. Debater number 1, Ruta Phillips, Foundation Arts student. Debater number 2, Lily Elder, Foundation Science. Debater number 3, Salvadius Alafua, Foundation student. From Team FBE, speaking against the motion, debater number 1, Hairani Haini, prelim student. Debater number 2, Magnolia Tulialo, and debater number 3, Howard Matufai, Bachelor of Agriculture. There will be 3 rounds of timed debate. Round 1 will see the first speaker of Team Affirmative speaking, and then the speaker of the opposition. Round 2 will move to second speaker Affirmative and second speaker of the opposition, and we will go on until we're completed with round 3, at which time the debate will then move to the leaders to sum up their motions. When you hear the bell for the first time, it means that you have 1 speaking minute. When the bell rings again at a much louder tone, it means you have spoken for your entire 5 minutes, and it means also that you will need to stop immediately. I ask the judges please not to consider any other sentiments expressed after the time has elapsed for the speakers. I will open up the debate after round 3 for members of the audience to give their feedback or comments, and while the judges are telling up the points. So without further ado, I wish both teams good luck in the debate. I wish the judges good luck in your onerous task, and I'll now give the floor to Leader Affirmative Ruta to start us off.
Good morning and greetings to our moderator, our dear judges, our opposition team, and those of us gathered here today for this last debate celebrating USP's 50th anniversary. The topic of our debate is that USP can be more successful as a paperless university. Our team defined the topic as the ability of USP to accomplish its desired aims or results through the use of only online courses. Yes, paperless means having its courses digitally published and read online through the use of technology, excluding the use of books and papers. Our team, Pacific TAFE, stand by the motion, and we believe that this statement is true. Today, as the first speaker, I will be talking about how USP has contributed environmentally for the Pacific Islands by being a paperless university, which will be backed up by saving trees and acres of land and combating climate change. The second speaker will address how USP being a paperless university has helped it become a cost-effective university. And the third speaker will cover how online learning has helped the South Pacific with its social issues, such as gender inequality, youth unemployment, and poverty. Manifesting on my points, as mentioned in the topic, USB being paperless could be beneficial for our environment. USB have integrated the use of technology as a tool for learning to ensure its students are gaining knowledge through the most relevant and up-to-date inventions nowadays. This is referring to having 100% online courses, which would save acres of land and millions of trees that could possibly be useful for other purposes, such as timber for construction, reducing soil erosion, shade and shelter, fuel for cooking, and the list goes on. In fact, launching only online learning in USB would account for up to 60,000 acres of land, which is equivalent to saving 6 billion trees every year. That's if we save energy and time manufacturing books and papers for face-to-face courses at USB. To be more specific, stopping USB from using paper would help resist the increasing and gradual increase of global warming. The more trees cut down for producing USP's textbooks and papers, the more carbon dioxide there is within the environment, which then increases the temperature in our planet. It was found that in 1 year, an acre of mature trees absorbs the same amount of carbon dioxide produced when you drive your car 26,000 miles per hour. Similarly, the shipping and transportation of paper books by importing and exporting causes air pollution, which also leads to the effects of climate change. In addition, online courses would spare our USB students some time and energy, for example, by staying home and accessing their courses online. This could prevent cars, taxi, bus, Hilux, Mazda, Honda, or any type of transportation. It could prevent these types of transportation from releasing unwanted gas into the environment and stops it from harming our environment and climate change. So if USB becomes a paperless university and making it an environmentally friendly institution, how does this contribute to its success? That question will be answered by each and every one of our speakers. But regarding the environment, it does not only make USB successful in its environmental contribution to the Pacific Islands, but it also provides a greenful environment for the future generation of USB. This is also a success because it supports the USB vision to achieve excellence and innovation for sustainable development for the Pacific Islands. Thank you.
Wow, I'm already nervous right now. You said something about environmental. Well, there's a lot of way we can save environment. And totally paperless is harmful to environment. You can ask how. It's more like the materials required to build the infrastructure for digital mode requires various metals, plastics, and heavy metals. And for producing them, we have to do mining. And mining means we are destroying our environment. Since digital age, the mining activities has grown to a whole new level with so much of extraction of heavy metals. Honorable judges, moderator, timekeeper, and also those who are here today. We are the opposition team, and we disagree that USP can be more successful as a paperless university. Speaker number one, will be talking about face-to-face and is important and economics. Second speaker will be talking about the environment. Our third speaker will be talking about social. We need face-to-face because, one, it is a more efficient way. Because the nature of a person, we are used to face-to-face. History speaks for itself. It has been generations using face-to-face. Why now change to something complicated? Two, the information brought by online classes are limited. Take, for example, the law students here in our university. They are taking online classes, but they say that they prefer face-to-face because if you have face-to-face classes, the teacher will give them the topic or the reading stuff, then the activities, then the teacher will explain the whole topic from the beginning. But to an online class, the teacher will only give out the reading and activities, but no explanation. For my second point, economic. Under student budget, enrollment might drop if all courses become online, because already online courses are more expensive. For example, my friends that are taking law, his first year, it takes about $987 for one course. That is really expensive. And my other friend that is taking law also, her last year is 1,525 tala. So it is really, really expensive. And I know that the chancellor will support my point. And, Pro Chancellor, and for government, since USP is owned by all USP nations, government's efforts in introducing reliable internet connection is priority. But USP is not tapping into this because of budget constraints. And not all governments of USP nations can afford such an upgrade of internet. As it will mean government budget might increase of governments have to find ways to finance it through increasing taxes. So, USP can never be more successful as a paperless university. Thank you very much.
That completes round one of the debate. We'll now move on to Lily Elder to take us forward in round two.
Thank you. It was really interesting, in a way. But you said something about mining, right? Mining is mining heavy metals to build the technology. So you're saying you'd rather die, in a way? It is in my belief that a human would want to move forward. And researchers have proved that. You also mentioned that being that having face-to-face is more efficient. How? How can you say that it's more efficient? In my perspective, and as my first speaker has mentioned, that paperless is environmentally friendly. And for that, I affirmatively agree. And now to elaborate more on my point, which is the university will be more cost effective if there is paperless. In the mission, PowerPoint number 3, it states to provide communities and countries in the South Pacific region with relative, cost-effective, and sustainable solutions to their main challenges. I would like to point out cost-effective, and I will elaborate more on cost-effective through paperless. Many universities are also beginning to understand the benefits of being paperless after going through the costs associated with printing papers such as class schedules to course expectation packets. One of these universities in particular is America's very own University of Oregon. This university saved up approximately $200,000 just by converting paper reviews of classes and faculties into scanned copies. Imagine that in Samoa. 200,000 US is equivalent to $512,000. And with that, USP can provide such issues as network. They can improve the network, and not only that, they can improve the standards of USP itself. As mentioned by my first speaker, that the paperless is environmentally friendly. And through the money that we can get, we can also give back to the communities. And that is part of our mission, right? You might say that technology is overtaking the world, but it's not. Technology is something that we use as humans to make things easier. And that is what technology is, through paperless. And mind you, since now that we're in the digital age, digital age was introduced back then in the late 1950s to the late 1970s when it shifted from mechanical and analog electronic technology to digital technology, which is now used today. And with paperless, I can say, through my own experience, is that it has improved. Most of the students nowadays, they're not really in the classes in front of the teachers, but they're mainly at the back of a computer. And that's more effective, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, my fellow opponent. It's really interesting, your intake. I meant your take on the issue of cost effectiveness of a paperless university. Are you sure about that? Because we still contribute either way. Like if we go paperless, if we use the mode of online, it means more internet usage, relying on the usage of electronics as Huawei. And that means more electricity used. Now, if you're saying in the context of the Pacific, we don't really have we still rely on fuel. We still rely on fuels such as diesel to as a source for like fueling our electricity. And second, it's hydro. But renewable energy is still a small factor. We still can't provide the reliable energy to support like the kind of paperless online mode learning that you're trying to promote. So my point in supporting face-to-face, I think it's better because like there are constraints you can do online. You can't ask the teacher, like you can't get an answer directly from them at a cost-effective time. Like it's time management as well. You need answers straight away for your problems. And this is something that emails take forever because like we're not the only students, but if you're in the class face to face, you ask and you get your answer. To also support on mining. Mining is still a big issue, and of course we want to like improve our human life, but is it at the expense of our own environment? You can see like examples of Nauru with phosphate mining. You can see examples of nickel with New Caledonia as well. But moreover, moving on to my points where I support, I go back to that if we rely on internet usage as well as by a paperless university, it will contribute to global warming because we're burning more of these fossil fuels in order to provide more electricity. Because to be honest, it's not just using computers, we also need a cooling system as well. And this means like aircon rooms. So like the expansion of computers, it means the expansion of facilities to place these computers in. How are we gonna deal with that? We already have financial issues. And this is something we cannot cater towards. Moreover, secondly, if our mission as USP, our mission of USP is to achieve innovation and excellence and sustainability, you know, there are other ways in which we can substitute for paper. And like, according to some researchers, you can use kangaroo poop. I'm sure you can use other poop as well. But other than using poop, there's organic cotton. Like cotton grows really well in the Pacific, like in the tropics. And it doesn't need to use agriculture chemicals. And you can also like, it doesn't mean you cut down the tree. We're saving, like for preventing deforestation. You can just get like, you know, the fluffy stuff and produce like paper and stuff. So there are a lot of ways we can counter like that issue because I believe that online learning, there are limitations towards it. Also, the third issue is if we focus on online learning, like imagine like electronics that we're bringing in. We already have a waste disposal problem. Like some islands don't have enough land to dispose waste. How are we going to deal with like more computers being broken down? Because on average, it's like 5 years. Like how much you can use the use of a computer lasts only 5 years, or worse because it's within our USP, we see like computers break down like halfway through the year. Where are we gonna dispose that? There are like environmental constraints for like islands such as Tokelau. They don't have any place to throw that rubbish away. And it also leads to global warming because you're gonna ship it back to like wherever it came from. That's like more gas going there. Thank you.
We'll now go on to round 3.
Thank you to both speakers. I applaud you two for trying your best to elaborate on your side. Unfortunately, I still stand my ground and support the motion. Speaker 1 said that one wouldn't be able to ask questions on online classes. That is where you download the classes and go back to where you were stuck. You can study on your pace, and if not, use Google. That is still online learning. Not only that, you guys also talked about how online learning is unreliable due to there's not enough, because you cannot ask questions you cannot ask the teacher questions. If you cannot rely on the teacher online, what makes you think you can schedule a long time for a long conversation with the teacher to ask all the questions that you have? Not only that, the new ideas that you mentioned, as it is on the vision of the university, innovation is mentioned. You have said that we have new ways to make papers. Do you think all the kangaroo waste is going to be enough to provide the papers for all the universities and the primary schools and the colleges in the South Pacific? Do you think all that fluffy stuff on the trees are going to be enough? Is it reliable to produce the papers that we are looking for, that you say are reliable for learning in the university? And may I bring forth how it is the University of the South Pacific is a regional university with different centers in different countries. So of course we rely on online learning. We have to have online learning. If not, we would have to take ages to ship back the assignments. We foundation students take ages to wait for the marks just so we can have our stuff tallied up. It's not reliable to have face-to-face classes. In a university such as ours, we need online learning, online classes in the University of the South Pacific. And now to talk about social issues. The South Pacific, we have been fighting social issues for years. And first of all, gender inequality has been a fight the South Pacific have been fighting for many years. And you may ask, how has the university helped with this social issue? Since we are talking about paperless, we are talking about online learning. With online learning introduced in the university, now our precious females can look after the children and the families, and at the same time be students. They can learn from home. Now at the end of the day, they don't have to be just nurturers. Now they can have good and high paying jobs at the end of the day. And that closes the gap of gender inequality, not only in the families, but also in the workplaces and the villages. Second is youth unemployment. Many of our youth stop learning at primary levels and colleges. They don't make it up to university because of the very low income that they have. But with online learning introduced into the University of the South Pacific, now they can make it up to university. They can learn from home, and the parents can save the smallest amounts of money that they would have to spend on lunch money and commuting and all that. And at the end of the day, they can actually end up with good jobs, which leads to the third bullet point, which is poverty. When they have good and high-paying jobs, they can be able to provide for their families. They can be able to pay for what they need to. Poverty can actually be stats can actually fall down. So as up to this point, I still stand my ground and say that USP has become and can become more successful with online learning introduced. And I believe that for the past 50 years, we are here because of online learning. We have become successful, and I know that along the way, we can become more and more successful. Thank you.
Yes, because I'm only given 5 minutes to speak of, then I have to go straight forward. Yeah, for your first speaker, you mentioned something about global warming. How does paperless affect global warming? You think that paperless and introducing technology can reduce global warming? No, there are still infrastructure of other companies. They are still cutting down trees. But not only papers are produced from trees. Yeah, they are also timbers, lots of other protections. And even you talk about soil erosion. Here is one of the article by Rohit Jindral. My first speaker has mentioned, as it read out. Since digital age, the mining activities has grown to a whole new level, with so much of extension of heavy metals, rare toxic components. We are seriously damaging our environment. So if you think that paperless can reduce the damage of our environment, but trust me, this is much more worse. Continue on. Cutting trees is much better than completely destroying the whole land and making it barren throughout the lifetime. So the next generation will be better. Is that what you think? And continue on. We don't see this side of the digital era, but it's the fact And the digital products are not used forever. They are not used forever. So thank God that we have paper. So we can, it's a recycle program. It's a recycle, like natural. If we use paper, sometimes it decays and turns back to soil. But if we use metals, it's not going to recycle. It's going to be here forever, and it's going to be dumped. And other thing, that is, since we don't have proper recycling facilities for recycling e-waste, that is another hazard which is causing serious damage to our environment. At least paper waste is kind of degradable, but not e-waste. Take that, we think about it. The second mentioned something about cost-effective university. How face-to-face more efficient? I'll tell you why. You know how face-to-face cost more efficiently? Because look around us. Look around Samoa. Look around Samoa. Thank God that we have USP here. A lot of students from other countries like Vanuatu, Kiribati, and Tokelau, and all those other, even agriculture are offered online, but they paid the money. They have the effort to come here just to take face-to-face courses. This because agriculture courses are much more better, like in improvement. Because it motivates these students. That's why they paid to come here, because it motivates them for face-to-face classes. But taking online is much more boring. It's more like watching a movie and go and sleep, but doing nothing. Yes, look at how law students are confusing and struggling right now, because only one courses are offered online, maybe two, but it's almost like 900,000 per courses. Is that how you save unemployment people or students? So if you care about unemployment students or people, so I said, unemployment. Why do you say that unemployed people? Because of paper education. Look at NUS. Look at NUS. How many students are enrolling for NUS? How many? A lot. Look at USP. How many USP students? Not half of NUS. Yes, because if unemployed students take the paper, it could be a much more easier for them, because they pay less money. If you launch the technology, it's going to be much more worse. So a lot of unemployed students and unemployed people, because it's too expensive. Really is expensive. And I have to go to my point, because I have only 3 or 2 minutes left. The lack of technology resources. So, lack of technology resources. Yes, will all of your students have access to necessary resources? Example, some students might not have internet at home. That's here in Samoa. You mentioned something about American people. It's because they have sustainability development. For us, lack of resources. Is USP going to provide much more resources for a better future of students of Samoa and even the South Pacific? Another point is lack of financial resources. Do the parents have the funds to purchase such resources for children? Can schools or the university afford to purchase a laptop, reader, tablets for all their students? Can they? No, look at the internet, how slow it is. How many complaints are from the students how slow the internet is? How many assignments are delayed because of slow Moodle? Even sometimes are slow in the internet, but the Moodle is down at the same time that the internet was slow. But I have a lot to talk about. Thank you for your, I'm patient. Thank you, but that's all. Thank you, I have a lot.
Thank you very much indeed. That brings us to the end of round 3 of debate number 3. Now is the time for the audience to please give your feedback, comments. I remind you all to please refrain from being very provocative. My apologies, you're given 2 minutes to sum up your arguments, and then you will present those arguments. Meantime, please, audience, prepare your feedback, comments, and questions. Thank you. I also remind the audience that this is debate number 3. The teams are vying for positions 3 and 4. The final debate will be following this debate. That will be debate number 4, where the 2 teams will be vying for places first and second. Thank you very much.
Our overall sum up for the topic will be, of course, to fully support the fact that USP will be more successful as a paperless university. This was proven when I, as the first speaker, provided you with information about how being paperless would help our environment grow greenly and for the future generations, and it would help combat climate change and reduce the harmful gases from being released in our environment. The second speaker has stressed the fact that being more cost effective by being paperless would help our environment, would help USB support its students and parents and even the school by being economically, imagine how much money you would save if you use online learning without spending it on printing and buying textbooks. It was also mentioned that it is unreliable to have face-to-face classes because when we finish exams, it is time management that we look at. If we finish exams, we ship it to other regions so we could mark them. But fortunately, we have online learning and courses which could mark our exams in a time that it's sooner than that. It was also the social issues was also mentioned that gender inequality it was also mentioned that women taking care of their children and staying home would benefit from having online courses and this is a positive for not only in the Pacific Islands and globally. Online learning would also help youth unemployment because it would reduce and cross out the global problem of poverty. It is a success to have online learning and online courses because it crosses out objective number 21 as mentioned by my last speaker and the USP vision to achieve excellence and innovation for sustainable development for the Pacific Islands, and that is what we call success, and we hope to continue to be more successful in the future by being by USB being paperless and providing environmentally, financially cost-effective and crossing out social issues in our South Pacific. Thank you.
To summarize our points, as I said, to the face-to-face is more important because it is true, it is more important, and it's not expensive because the technology nowadays is very expensive, and also as my second speaker said that we can find more ways to make papers, right? Yeah, to make papers, and our third speaker said as well that the lack of technology resources and also the lack of financial resources and yeah, USP, and we say that USP will never ever be a successful paperless university. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Now is the time for the audience, please, to give your feedback or comments as our judges are tallying up the points.
I'm sorry I missed the other two debates because I wanted to commend the organizers for having a debate series as part of the 50th anniversary and commend the organizers here and the debaters for the efforts they have put into the subjects that they have been given. And as we all know, nothing is straightforward. It's not an either-or situation. It's not black and white. There's always grades in between. But the debaters have made good efforts at putting their arguments forward. And this shows that this is an opportunity for people to think critically about what we're doing, how we're doing it, and how we might be able to do things better. And that's something I think that we need in all our participants, our students, as we go forward. We need people who think about what we do and how we can do it better. And that is something that we should all try to encourage. And certainly this debate today, I think, is a move in that direction. So I congratulate everyone. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eva. Just sitting through this debate, it's quite interesting to hear views from the students of the university. But I just thought, I was just sitting here, I think that a university such as the South Pacific, the University of the South Pacific, being a regional institution, I think it needs both digital and face-to-face, considering that we are very remote islands, some of us. And then, for example, from Fiji, where I'm from, some students, they travel from remote islands just to come to the mainland and study, live with relatives. And you can imagine the expenses every day, relying on relatives. And if you go all digital, and if they do not have the resources available, imagine the money they would be spending every day just to look for internet around towns. That's from Fiji, where I'm from, and I'm also an ex-USP student, so I've also faced some of the struggles with that, but I was never an online student. I was a face-to-face student. So I guess online would benefit both working students, especially for people who work and study at the same time. They cannot make it to classes. And also face-to-face benefit students who can make it to classes and ask questions at the same time when lecturers and tutors are present. Thank you, but thank you to the both teams for your contribution. It was really interesting.
Thank you very much, moderator. First of all, I'd like to congratulate both the teams. I think you did wonderfully well and you prepared yourself well. And most importantly, the thing that impressed me most, your ability to speak so freely, as if you have rehearsed, but I know you haven't. You have a very good knowledge and grasp of the subject. But the outcome, I think the decision, how you perform, we leave it to the judges. But my observation, like some of the issues that you have raised from the negative side and from the positive side is a learning for us. Because we also want to know what is the problem, what university is running in certain ways. You are saying online is very good, and you are saying the Moodles time to time, internet from time to time give up. You see, this is very important for us, for our IT manager to know this is something that the students are facing, that we have to do something about it. You see, this is a learning for us. It's wonderful. Thank you very much. I wish both the team all the best, and I hope the best team wins. Thank you. After
Thank you again, moderator. And big congratulations to both teams. You guys are very lucky. You're part of history in the making, not only being part of the celebration, but also as well as to have the Pro-Chancellor here as a witness to our event today. And just to note that, add on to what the head of school has also said, we've noticed the improvement from the very first rounds that we had up to now. And well done to both teams. And it just it was a very close, very close score. And the winner is the affirmative side, just by 3 points. So my low level to everyone.
May I please ask for another huge round of applause for the winning team, the underdogs, Pacific Tape. Congratulations indeed. And congratulations also to the opposition. That, ladies and gentlemen, mighty judges, brings us to the end of debate number 3. And we'll now go for a 3-minute break before we go on to the finals. Thank you very much. Now, teams, please go and shake hands, hug each other. Do not hate each other. And please, for all the teams not to leave the house, we have a photographic session later.